LA City Police 831.
Yes, I'd like to report a murder or a dead body or something.
Where at?
In the alley.
Alright guys, today we are ranking the painkillers, the opiates, the euphoria, the downers, I guess you could say, minus like benzos and shit like that. We are not ranking these on medical effectiveness. We are ranking these on the amount of which you are going to get fucked and the quality of the high, and the quality of the fuckedness, I guess you could say. Because some of these could get you absolutely fucked, but that's not necessarily a quality thing. It's not a good feeling, you know what I'm saying? Looking at you, Sabas, that's gross. But looking at you, fentanyl, that's gross. But you know what? You will get fucked. Alright. So I'm probably gonna start at like the lower potency and work my way up. Now, that necessarily does not mean that this is the highest potency and this is the lowest potency. We're talking about the quality of the feeling we are getting from this. Now, this is personal opinion based on experience in the junkie realm. Alright, so we're going to start with one of the non-opiates. I think this is a derivative of opiates. I don't know the science behind this shit, but I don't think that this necessarily comes from opium, you could say. This is tramadol. We're going to put tramadol at A tier. Now, people are probably like, what the fuck? Some of you might think it belongs down here. Some of you might think it belongs right here. But this is not necessarily like your traditional opiate in the sense where you're nodding or you're down or whatever. You could take some of these and you want to continue your day. You want to do a bunch of stuff. You want to clean the whole house. It's almost got like a speedery effect. Like, not necessarily like Adderall where you wanted to sit there and watch paint dry for 12 hours. Fuck that. But it gives you a sense of like enhanced productivity, I guess you could say. You're getting shit done when you're off these bitches right here. Alright, and my personal opinion, pretty much all of these are going to numb your dick when you're trying to fuck. As opposed to this one, this is aphrodisiac, I guess you could say. I would not really consider any of these drugs to be good for sex other than this one right here. So for that reason, we're putting it on A tier. Also, you can take a lot of these without overdosing and you will have a really good time. But one side effect that people frequently get when they're using them recreationally is they get itchy. I've experienced this in high doses, but this is one of those ones that I would mix with benzos and feel safe doing so. Not that I would recommend you mix benzos with any of these. That's horrible and definitely not good for your brain. But when I was getting fucked, we would crush that shit up and take it down together. I would not say that this snorts well at all. It probably has a really bad drip. I haven't tried that. Definitely something you want to consider, and I don't think people shoot this. I just eat these. I don't shoot up, so for all of these, even heroin here, we don't shoot, so we're gonna rank that based upon the experience smoking or snorting it. Moving onward, a little more potent than the tramadol, I would say, is the Tylenol 3s. Now we're gonna put the Tylenol 3s right here at B, and the reason is that it is codeine, yes, 30 milligrams of codeine in each pill, but there also is a fuck ton of Tylenol in there. And typically when people overdose from eating a bunch of Vicodin or a bunch of Tylenol 3s, that's not from the opioid inside, it's from all that Tylenol, and that comes with its whole different line of side effects. For me personally, it makes me constipated, so what I will do is a cold water extraction, and that's why we're putting this in the B tier, because you can crush these bitches up and then use a coffee filter and some cold water where you basically crush it up, put it in the cold water, put it in your fridge, make sure it's nice and cold, put a rubber band and a coffee filter on the top of a cup and then pour that shit in there. All the opiate is water soluble, so it'll drip down to the bottom, and the Tylenol isn't, so it'll stay up top in that coffee filter. You just want to make sure it's busted down and dissolved real good. That's why you want to set it in the fridge for a good 20 minutes just to let it do its thing and mix it up, and then from there you can pour up that concentrator, just take it straight like a shot. But be careful because you can dose pretty high. We used to take like 20 of these, do that method, and then put that liquid in some DXM cough syrup, mix it up, and then put that in like a liter of soda and just get fucked for days. Definitely don't drink that all at once. Be slow. I don't recommend you do any of this, but this is if you're gonna. Alright. Moving on. What's a little more potent than the Tylenol? Let's say the Viking. Alright, this is hydrocodone. We're gonna put this at C tier, alright? This is at average at best. Okay. Do we have an E tier? Nah, it doesn't look like it. Damn. Alright. This is definitely C tier for the same reason. You know, we could put this at B tier, honestly, because these get you fucked. But the thing is they make me very constipated, so I don't really like using these. If I can smoke my opiates, that's obviously my preferred method because it's not going through my digestive system, causing all kinds of harm. It's just kind of fucking with my lungs. These bitches, though, because they have Tylenol in them, they're 325 milligrams of Tylenol / 10, 5, 7.5 milligrams of hydrocodone. You can do the same cold water extraction method with these and then take it as liquid. And you will get fucked. There's like 10, 20 different kinds of these, man. You see like the confetti ones where they got fucking like orange dots all over them. You'll see the pure white ones. You'll see the blue ones. I don't know. I have a picture where I had like 4 different kinds of Vicodin. Bro just went trick-or-treating through his cabinets and came out with a bunch of pills for me. I was like, sweet dude. Alright, moving up from there, I would say when it comes to potency, looking at pills, we got perks, and then we also got syrup. We'll do the perks and then we'll get into the liquid stuff here in a minute. Alright, so this is it's like I want to say it's better than these two right here. These are only ranked so high because you can do that little magic trick and get a lot more fucked up with them, but the pills themselves, this is better. So I would say this goes right here and then this goes right here. So we would say the 3s are meh, the Vikes are a little better, okay, and then the perks are even better than that. Real perks, people will talk about these or these and call them perks. Those are Roxy's, okay, but this, like an actual Percocet, has ibuprofen in it, similar to how Vicodin would have acetaminophen in it, Tylenol. This has ibuprofen in it, so this will be like your 7.5, your 5, your 10/325, and that 325 is going to be that ibuprofen. So again, ibuprofen comes with its own set of side effects, so honestly most people would prefer just the straight oxycodone. That's the active ingredient in Percocet. But we'll rank that at B tier because they sure do get you fucked, and ibuprofen is definitely easier on my stomach than Tylenol is. Moving onward from there, boys, what do we got here? Let's move on to the liquids. All right, here we have lean, we got high tech, we got red. I would put that between Vicodin, that hydrocodone, and Percocet. I would say perks definitely get the fucking job done a lot better. This comes with it's liquid codeine, but it also comes with that promethazine antihistamine. So I would definitely say it's better than just these Tylenol 3s. It's not necessarily as potent as your hydrocodone, but because it's got that antihistamine, it's got that extra little twinkle in it. You could be a hype boy with your double cup and looking all cool for your social medias or whatever if you want to flex on them haters. We got the thumb here coming in clutch. Don't forget the thumb. You could keep the bottle right, and then what you could do is you could put that cold water extraction shit you got, that you made at that little home stuff that you got these bitches for like $4 a pill. These are like $5, maybe $1 a milligram these days with the opioid ban, but who knows, depends where you are, depends who you know. But you can take that cold water extraction liquid, mix it up with some syrup, and then sell it out this bottle jugging for 50 a line like a G. Motherfuckers think you hooking them up at 50 and they still getting fucked, and you're not ripping off anybody, and everybody wins because you're still getting the dope. Not saying you should do that, but I'll put it on this level right here. Now we got a lot of B tier shit. Alright, let's crank it up to A tier. Here we got the piss, we got the yellow, we got the Tussin X. Don't confuse this with Robitussin. Alright, we're gonna put that just above Tramadol, alright? Reason being, this shit fucks you up, okay? This is just this, but in liquid form. You know what I'm saying? This is just hydrocodone, but it's liquid. You could still make this with that cold water extraction method, but this is the real deal right here, boys. This is worth quite a bit of money, and the shit fucks you up. It's not bad. You can pour it up. It is what it is. Why is it better than this right here? I don't know, but I feel like this shit does the trick more. It's also got that little bit of hype behind it. You hear your rappers talking about mixing up the yellow, sipping the piss. This is what you got right here. What that is. A lot of people are unfamiliar with the Tussin X. The Tussin X is your friend. It'll get you very fucked. Alright, moving onward. We're starting to get into the heavier stuff here now. Let's move on to morphine. Alright, now this motherfucker is constipation in a pill. Kinda like my buddy Vicodin up here. Alright, I might have to rearrange these two to C tier. The only reason I got them up here is because of the amount of profit you can make off of these two, given that little science experiment. But honestly, if we were to use these for just what they are, they would definitely be C tier. Alright, being a little more realistic here, that would probably put Tussin X down. Nah, we'll keep that right there. And then we'll keep these on B tier. I would probably rather have a higher dose of these two pills than or this pill right here than okay. Like if you offered me 60 milligrams of morphine right here, all right, or 60 milligrams of oxycodone, I'm taking that oxycodone, and I'm sure you are too. People like to melt these and take that red coating off, and then cook that shit that's on the inside, and then fucking shoot it. I don't shoot up, so I'm not really into that. Just eating these though, they make me feel like I have a knife in my side the next day because I got a shit that's a week old and still isn't coming out. You better get the hemorrhoid cream ready with this one. Sure, you're gonna be fucked up for like 12 hours, and it's a lot foggier of a high. I think this is a much more like euphoric and clean feeling high. This one is a little groggier because it's got that antihistamine, but this one still has a groggy feeling too, and it's not necessarily a positive one. Morphine is good. Yes, it gets you higher than this one right here, but I'd still class it beneath it because if you have a higher dose of this, you're gonna have a much better time. You know, I don't know. This shit, in my experience, it just, I don't reach that level of euphoria that I would off of all of these ones right here. Maybe you disagree. I'm sure this is a pretty controversial take, but I'm not such a fan of the morphine, alright? And I would say I'm pretty junkie status. You know, I'm not shooting up, but I'm still smoking boy and stuff, and I'm still not really into this stuff, and I don't know. Moving forward from there, we're gonna talk about real roxycodone and fake roxycodone, okay? People will refer to these as perk 30s. This is not a perk 30. It's just oxycodone in 30 milligrams. The Percocet technically has that ibuprofen in it. This has no such thing. This is the pure stuff. Now the fake ones, these are just fentanyl, all right? People get a bunch of this fentanyl stuff. They get some chalk or some blue shit, right? Then they put it in a pill press and they sell it as these ones right here. Fentanyl is good for what it is, but it's not so clean. And there's a much higher risk of overdosing because your pills will be spotty when they're pressed. Some will be stronger than other ones. Sure, if you're smoking them off the foil, they're great. This is a much cleaner feeling. We're gonna put this at A tier, and we're gonna put the real roxycodone. You know what? It being real roxycodone, I think this is S tier. Honestly, we're gonna put real Roxy's, real oxycodone 30 pills. That's S tier shit. Now these are B tier. Alright, I put them above Tramadol, probably above Tussinex too, honestly. These fuckers fuck you right up. This is not roxycodone. This is. Yes, they look the same. This is drug dealers will sell these as perk 30s or roxycodone or whatever your rapper calls them, a perk 30. It's not. I mean, it is, but it's not. There's no ibuprofen in there. It's just oxycodone. I'm talking about this. But this is fentanyl, boys. Now, if you don't want to be taking fentanyl, I wouldn't fuck with any of these blue pills unless you've seen your grandma's prescription bottle and you're stealing them out the medicine cabinet. Because if you're buying these from a drug dealer thinking it's this, it's usually this, especially if you're in a city. I mean, I go to Milwaukee, Detroit, Chicago. I'm in the Midwest, and I see these fuckers everywhere. And I know they're all over down south and out west, and they're everywhere, man. This is a big problem in the country. Me being a person who enjoys using heroin, I love smoking these bitches off of tinfoil. They taste fucking disgusting. They taste like burnt marshmallows. Heroin tastes a lot better. A lot better. These are fucking gross. This tastes bad, but not like this. And these fuck you up, but not like this. I would say these are more potent if you get a good batch of them. These are cleaner and you're not going to feel like shit when you come down. Because these you come up, you plateau for a couple hours, then you come down. The fake ones, you come up real hard, then you come down real hard, and you have a headache, and you're irritable, and you're being an asshole. This, not so much the case. The real deal, it's the real deal. You hear people talk about these quite a bit for a reason. But if I knew that they were pressed, I'd still be buying them. I'd smoking them bitches off the foil in 10 seconds after you hand it to me. I don't care if it's fake or not. Just saying, the real ones are better. Many people also might disagree with me on this because their homies died for taking them or whatever and put it right down there on D tier. The fact that it's a misconception definitely drops it down between A and B for me, but just the level of fucked up you get and the amount of time you can enjoy being fucked, I don't know. I'd say it's pretty A tier depending on your method of ingestion. I would not recommend shooting up or snorting these as you don't know what you're getting. And when you puke when you're smoking it, at least you know probably not to continue using the shit if you puke. Personal opinion. Alright. Honestly, I'd say these are the top of B tier. just because of the sketchiness involved. If I had to talk about like the high they provide, I'd say it's A tier, but just because of it's not good stuff. We'll put it at B tier. All right, moving on now. Let's keep talking about the gross stuff. This one is not an opiate. This is fucking D tier. Now, honestly, if we're talking about how much the shit fucks you up, it could be S tier. But if you're not into this shit and you do one of these, a half of one of these, a quarter of one of these, a 16th of one of these, an eighth of one of these, you're gonna puke. They're not good. They get you fucked, yes. But you just need the tiniest little bit. Now, okay, this we're talking about Suboxone, which is buprenorphine and naloxone. I personally do not ever use these. Naloxone is fucking gross. I've used Subutex, which is just pure buprenorphine. They get that to pregnant people who for some reason can't have naloxone. This is designed to get you off of all of this other shit here if you're addicted to it. This right here is if you go to the doc and you're like, hey man, I'm addicted to fucking doing heroin or whatever the fuck, and I need to get off of this shit, okay? This is what they put you on. If you get addicted to morphine because you had a back surgery or something and they're trying to get you off of it, but you have physical dependence, as the doctors will call it, this is what they give you to get you off of that shit. I would not recommend you do that. I would recommend you use Kratom. If Kratom is not on this fucking list, if it was, I would put it at C tier. Or no, I don't know why. I just forgot to include that. But if Kratom was here, we'd put it at C tier. This shit is fucking gross. You want to be really careful with how you dose this, and you want to start small. Because even if you snort it, it takes probably a half hour to kick in. And then even then, you're coming up for a little while. And then sometimes once you reach that plateau, you're a little too high up and you puke. So you want to start really small if you're using these, and honestly, if you're interested in any of this stuff, don't ever use this shit. It's just fucking gross. And if this is all you got, if this is what you do, so you be you, but something about this is a lot more trashy and ghetto than all of this stuff. I don't know. That's personal opinion. I've seen people shoot these bitches up before. I saw a guy first time I ever experienced a person talking about Suboxone. I was on the beach and I was just walking down the beach with my friends smoking a joint. Some guy ran up and asked if he could hit it. He had shitty tattoos all over him. And he fucking pulled his tooth out and then threw it into the lake. I was like, what the fuck, dude? He goes, that's probably from shooting up all that Suboxone. And I was like, ugh, we gotta go. See you, dude. I don't want to fucking be around you. Okay, I'm dumb as fuck. It's 2 days later now because my audio didn't continue recording when I continued recording this video. So this is not organic thought anymore. This is me watching the video and commenting in post, but I'm going to do as best as I can to make it as one-to-one with what I had before anyway. That's a boxing shit. Garbage. Don't let them tell you that tech is any better, man. Tech is not any better. It's all gross. Buprenophine's just fucking nasty. What happened was I had a call, and then when I went to go continue recording, I continued recording the video but not the audio because I'm dumb as fuck. Okay, moving forward, now we kind of have just all of the big boys left over. Everything else here is pretty fucking strong, including that subby, but not. So here we have fentanyl. Now, some people might put this at the bottom of the list because their homies died from it and shit, but if you know what you're getting and you are taking it because you know what it is and it's not laced in some shit, it's pretty B tier because it fucks you up good. And it's not, we're gonna say it's better than these pressed 30s because you're actually being sold something and you know what it is. Yes, fentanyl is bad and it's very potent, but it's still better than those pressed 30s because at least you know what you're buying when you smoke this shit. Now, we used to get these patches and we would smoke them right off of the tinfoil and they taste fucking disgusting, dude. But they fuck you up about as much as heroin would. And yes, you can die from these, so you gotta be real fucking careful. Technically, you can die from all of this, but the likelihood of you dying from fentanyl is a lot fucking higher than anything else on this list. And for that reason, we might want to put it lower on this list, but I'd say it's the top of B tier. If you know what you're doing, you're buying it with the intention of doing fentanyl, you probably have the knowledge of how much you should be dosing this and slicing up a patch into a couple pieces and blasting that bitch off of tinfoil. Now, I've seen some pretty scuzzy people doing these as well as the Suboxone, but it's not as nasty as the Suboxone. Yes, it's not a true opiate. I'm pretty sure it's a synthetic, but it is a lot better than, it is surgery grade shit. It's not some fucking nasty shit like Subby. It's a lot better. Now, here we have the Dilaudid. Now, Dilaudid is definitely some A tier shit. I would say Dilaudid's a lot stronger than morphine in the sense that it leaves you foggy, kind of like morphine does, and you're high all day, but it's not quite the same. Morphine is morphine, and this is hydromorphone, okay? This shit fucks you right up. Both of them will have you fucked up all day long. Dilaudid is more potent than morphine, in my opinion. I don't know if scientifically it is. I'm pretty sure that per milligram it is, because you only need a 4 milligram or an 8 milligram pill to feel something similar that you would off of a 30 or like a 60 of morphine. This shit fucks you up. And I'd say this is about the top of A tier, because these bitches get you fucked. The worst that's gonna happen is you're gonna puke. Yeah, and honestly, after a good sweaty opioid puke, you feel real good after. these bitches fuck you up. I can't find them anywhere anymore, and whenever I hear like true junkies talk about that good shit, they're always talking about doing dillies and shit. Now we kind of have the last 4 strongest things here, just OxyContin and heroin. Now this is brown heroin. Now brown heroin is not necessarily as good as white heroin, and I would say it's pretty A tier. I'd say it's probably the bottom of A tier, realistically, top of B tier. This shit, it fucks you up, but every single time I would smoke it, I would feel like my stomach would just not be sitting right. Like when you do so, like, I don't know, I'm sure junkies can relate. I don't shoot dope, but when you shoot some bad dope and you just feel sick as fuck, or you smoke some bad dope and it just hits your body and it doesn't feel right, yes, you get erratically high after. I've hit it up in my apartment. I smoked it. I made it downstairs out into the driveway. I was in an upstairs apartment. By the time I was down to the driveway, I was leaning over onto the fucking Pontiac, puking over my roommate's car into the grass. Fucked up. Meanwhile, I'm getting ripped out of my body by Jesus, licked up and down in a full body orgasm. But it was, I don't know. Something about it left me feeling shook compared to the last 3 options, which just only made me feel good. Yes, this is like a last resort option. Your friend's like, yo, I got some boys never in town. You get this shit. This is like the hometown boy plug. It's not like that you're going to the city for the good shit. It's the bottom of the barrel brown. Now here we have leftover, we have white heroin, we got the holy grail of the Oxy 80s, and we got the straight opium. Staying on the topic of heroin, I would say white heroin is probably the top of S tier. This is the shit where it's either cut with fentanyl, and we don't care because we smoke our dope, but if you're shooting it, you probably don't want that. But honestly, going down to Detroit, going down to Milwaukee or Green Bay or wherever in the northern Midwest where I'm at, if I would get some nice white rocks, like the hard rocks that just reek like balls, or just some real fluffy shit that almost looked like coke in Detroit, I got one time. This white heroin, it's just when you smoke it, you feel yourself get ripped out of your body, you keep smoking it, and it's the highest you're ever gonna get. They say that you're always chasing the dragon. I take big long breaks in between when I do shit, so when I finally do go back to this, I feel like I'm fucking 9 inches deep into the dragon's ass while I'm slitting its throat, and I'm just raping the dragon. The dragon is my bitch when I fucking hit this shit, dude. I hit this shit, and Alice in Chains is on in the background, bro, and I feel every like hair on my head just stand up, and I get goosebumps, and then I'm just fucking out of this world, and I'm on a bender for fucking 3 days until my dope is gone and I don't know what happened. This shit, this is the strongest of the strong, the purest of the pure, the cleanest of the cleanest highs that you're gonna get if it's not cut with that Fetty, which it typically is. If it's white, you gotta be careful. If you find some good actual China white, dude, that's the top of S tier shit. That's what we live for right there, buddy. Heroin is heroin, but bro, we're talking about like how high shit gets you on this scale, not quality of how it's gonna affect your body or your mind or whatever, dude. Just thinking about what's gonna fuck us up the most and the best, bro, from a junkie mindset. That's some top S tier shit, man. I got some of the best days of my life where I wasn't tripping on psychedelics, bro. I was just high out of my mind on fucking white heroin. That's horrible. All right, moving on to opium. Now this is the drugs gardening subreddit coming through here right now, man. We got them Helmand Pinks and we got them fucking Afghani Golds growing in the backyard, telling your grandma it's just flowers. When the end of summer come around, you start scraping the bulbs and acting funny and nodding out in the garden, bro. Face first into the fertilizer, eating shit, literally. Nah, but for real, dude, this shit is the cleanest, purest opioid high you're gonna get. There's nothing, if you're growing it yourself, it's not gonna be cut with any bullshit. You can scrape them bulbs and smoke that gum, or eat it, or you can boil all that fucking bulbs when you're done in a pot and get all that tar out of it, and then you can make tea out of that. You can smoke it. Opium is the cleanest, purest form of an opioid that's not, everything on this list is derived from that opium gum pretty much, other than what's synthetic and developed in a lab, such as the buprenorphine and potentially the fentanyl. But this opium right here, dude, this is the plant, this is the raw, this is the base, this is what your great grandpappy was smoking when he was nodding out on the back porch and nobody knew what was going on, but he knew what was going on because he had that funky contraption pipe out in the barn, and everybody was getting lit because that new Asian moved to town and he was serving it up. Nah, for real though, when you're growing this shit, like, it's passion goes into it. You know you're a real junkie when you're fucking out there and you're like, I'm gonna grow some opium this year so that at the end of the year I can get fucked. That's a true opioid enthusiast. That's a true, I mean, if you're going out of your way to actually grow opium, which you can buy these seeds online just fine. It is legal to grow it. The second you scrape that bulb though, you are in trouble. I'm pretty sure that is a felony. But people would literally camp out at fucking poppy fields and then they would scrape the bulbs and then cook dope out in the woods. But if you just have a plot of land, you can definitely get away with growing these bitches in a small plot, and you can get yourself a lot of opium for personal use if you don't tell anybody about where you're doing it or what you're doing. It's as simple as scraping that bulb and loading that shit up in the pipe and smoking it. Now here's the holy grail, okay? These are the Oxy 80s. These are, you don't know anybody who has the real Oxy 80s unless they're on death's door. Since these are the same thing as those Roxys, but this is just a higher milligram of the pill. Now you don't see these around anymore, these OxyContin 80s. All right, these are 80 milligrams of oxycodone. They give these to people who have just had crazy surgery. They're about to die. You have 6 months to live. They used to give Vicodins and these oxys out like it was nothing. They don't give them away like that no more. Now it's the same chemical that's in that shit I just clicked, that C tier shit. It's just oxycodone that's in Percocet. But this is the biggest perk. This is the biggest oxy you can get. If we used to have a person we would get these from and he died. We had another person we would get these from. The only 2 times I've ever seen these in my life, and he's dead now too. They don't give these away to people unless you're really in a lot of pain. But these bitches, it's clean. It's the cleanest, purest dope in a pill that you can get. You can smoke that shit out right off a foil. You can snort it if you're crazy and want to die. You can fucking, we would bust tiny pieces of this shit up on a plate when I was in high school, bro, and I would take like a 16th of the pill, and I would be like, or an 1/8 of the pill, and I would just be like high as fuck. If I took a half one of these pills, bro, I would be puking off the porch, bro, straight up. These bitches is the cleanest, purest shit you can get, and a lot of people who do dope like these more than dope because they know it is in their pill. It's literally just factory grade heroin is what it is, and it fucks you up. Now these, if you ever see these, proceed with caution. You should never swallow a full one of these in one go. You could have a seizure, you could overdose just from one of them. It's for people who have developed a large tolerance to opioids. It's pretty much one of the strongest opioid medications that they're going to give you. Now they do prescribe things in higher milligrams. Going through all of this, I feel like Dilaudid could be potentially S tier. We'll keep it at the top of A tier. Just looking at all of this as a full right now, seeing what I would want to edit, I feel I'm pretty content with the way that I organized these, best from the left and then worst to going to right, and then obviously D to S tier up and down. Looking at this, I'd say that this makes quite a bit of sense to me. I'm a fucking junkie. Don't do any of these drugs. They're all horrible for you. But if you are going to do these, this is your junkie guideline to climbing the ladder from, I don't know. Like I said, a lot of these are, it does get more potent as you go up to S tier, but also D tier is just as potent as S tier. So I wouldn't rank it like that. It's more of a comfortability and enjoyment of each substance as opposed to ranking them from how potent they are. Yes, some of the lesser potent stuff is near the bottom in C tier and in B tier, but overall, I would say that it gets more potent as you go up. This is a comprehensive list from my own personal experience. Things like Opanas, oxymorphone, and other substances that I have not tried or not on the list because I have not been able to get my little fiendy hands on them yet. But the day will potentially come, and maybe we will update this list one day. We'll potentially do a list for psychedelics. I'm thinking that's what I'm going to do next. Check out my channel. I got a bunch of weird random content on there. Thanks for listening to me talk for 30 minutes. Have a good day, guys. Hopefully I don't die before the next video, and if there's anything I didn't include in this list and you want to talk about it in the comments, let's have a conversation. Stay safe, don't overdose, carry a Narcan. Peace out, boys.